Welcome to Why They Play the Game, a show created to discuss the NBA on and off the court. I'm just one of your hosts, Michael Eric Owens.
And I'm Ken Hayes.
Hey, my brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. Did the turkey treat you right?
You know us. Yeah, man. It was
Yeah,
it was pretty good. So, I hope
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
had a great Thanksgiving,
No doubt. No doubt.
relaxing with family and everything. So,
Man, listen, it's that time to sit back, put that little turkey leg on your plate, watch some basketball, watch some football. And Ken, we had the our game of the week was the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Boston Celtics. And so, man, it was great anticipation for the game. Everybody was excited that the game was about to happen. Did it live up to the hype, in your opinion?
no, it didn't. It didn't. Um, Drew, I know he was amped up, play against
Mm,
us, team he got traded from, and Milwaukee and Boston, top two teams in the East. So it was, I would say a competitive game. Um, Maybe late in the fourth quarter, but the first three quarters were kind of in favor of Boston.
yeah.
Um, Drew didn't have a great game. He shot 1 for 8. Maybe he was just too amped up. Like I said, Milwaukee didn't shoot well from the three or
Mm-mm.
just in general. And I think they had I thought I counted maybe 4 players in double figures. And I think Boston had like 7 or 8 in double figures.
Yeah,
Uh,
Milwaukee had 4 players in double figures. They shot 44% from the field, and
Not
Boston shot
bad.
52% from the field.
Right. Let me say this, Mike. In the games that I've seen Milwaukee in, they're just outscoring teams.
Hmm.
On the defensive end, they're I mean, and when I say struggling, on the scale of 1 to 10, on the defensive end, they had 3.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Giannis had a tough night against Boston. I think he shot 7 for 20.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I- I'll say this, just and I don't want to give out, do a lot of information on Milwaukee, but they need to get their more players involved. I'm gonna switch back to Boston. The ball
Hmm.
moved quickly for Boston
Yeah.
as far as on the perimeter, and
Hmm.
they got a lot of open threes. You
Yeah.
didn't see that from Milwaukee, and that's the thing that you need to see more of. So when Giannis is, let's just say, going to the basket, he needs to look for, let's just say, spotted 3 pointers. And then Dame, he struggled a little bit in shooting wise too in that game. Just didn't seem like they really had the energy wasn't there for Milwaukee. I'll put it that way. Um, I, the only person I think that off, let's just say Portis, I think he only had like maybe 4 points. He didn't really do a lot of damage. Um, Payne, he was 3 points. You know, this your backup point guard. He
Hmm.
didn't let's just say didn't play well. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, I know Leonard he had 27, but they can't, at the end of in the fourth quarter, they made it, let's just say, competitive as far as the game was concerned, but ran out of gas and Boston got some open looks and nailed them down. So that's
Yeah,
my assessment of the game.
yeah, yeah. Folks, listen, it's Ken. Ken just got done with his assessment. We need you to do something for us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that notification so you can get all of this content. Ken, I agree with you, man. Milwaukee shot 38% from the 3-point line. Boston shot 40. The Bucks was, 13 for 17, 76% from the free throw line. Boston was
Not bad.
82%. Not bad. 14 for 17. Man, this is what people need to understand. And then I want to get into the numbers a little bit more, but this is what people need to understand. The trade, the the Bucks trade was a blockbuster trade. You basically revamped the team in a lot of ways because you brought in Beasley, which is a
Right.
starter. You brought in 2 starters. You didn't bring in one starter, you brought in 2 starters, and you also brought in a number 2. When you look at Drew, and Drew going to Boston, it was a perfect fit because all he did was step into Marcus Smart's shoes. And Drew is not the first option. He's not the second option.
Second,
He's not the third option. He's the fourth. He might even be the fifth option if you throw White in there. So see the impact of Drew. Drew can just continue to do what he does all the time. He's really a player that I value over Marcus Smart. I think you even got an upgrade there, but it's really the same role. And so when it comes to Boston, Boston have their nuclear. When you even look at Porzingis, man, Porzingis is the third option. I mean, he's not the first or the second. So you did not replace such a major piece. And when the Bucks came in with Dame, man, and a new coach, and you got two new starters, and then you got rookies, and so Milwaukee has a lot to figure out. And I think if you look at their defense, there's sometimes where, and we've talked about this, Ken, where in the NBA, these players let their offense, let their defense dictate how they're playing on their offense. So if they're doing well in offense, they're gonna give you that sort of, I think, aggressiveness.
Right.
But Ken, like the Bucks got outworked at times, and that's what's happening in their game. It's not like we're not seeing progress, because you're seeing progress. I mean, at first, when they first started off, the offense was clunky. And Ken, the first thing's going to come is your offense. That's the first thing going to come.
Right.
The second thing, the last thing is going to come is your defense. And so I think for them, they have to continue to work. I don't think you can make any type of analysis of the Bucks in any real way until February. And look, we just know Chris just went out last night. Okay, sore Achilles, and Jay won't be back until probably December, January with his groin surgery. So you got all of these things that are happening, but we're gonna talk about a little bit in the show how Boston just got the brakes beat on them by Orlando. Yeah. And so, Ken, we see these teams, and I just can't. I think we have to come. Well, let me just say this. I have to come to the conclusion that today's game is not yesterday's game. I mean, these guys are not lacing them up every night, going out saying, this is my last game and I'm on, they don't have Kobe's mentality. They don't have the GOAT's mentality. Even the King don't have that mentality, man. I mean, could you see Mike? I don't know if you saw the other night when LeBron missed that game-winning shot. Could you see Mike missing a game-winning shot? We talking about Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the GOAT. And then smiling and dapping up the other team.
No.
Okay. Mike mad. Okay. Mike mad. Mike walking off the court, man. Mike can't wait till he gets you again. It's just a different world, man. And I don't want to knock these young guys because this is the world they came up there. It's just a softer world, man. Let's just keep it real. When it comes to just about I watched some highlights of the Canelo fight with Charlo, man, and Charlo just ran the whole fight. I mean, these guys, we remember thank you, Ken. We remember those fights, man, where them dudes came in there and they went to work. Okay, the Hearns, the Leonard, we remember Hagler. We remember those, Cesar Chavez. We remember all those, Chavez. We remember all those fights, man, where these dudes came in, and Pacquiao, where these dudes came in and they went to work. Now, man, nobody want to get hit. After Floyd when all those, he ducking and dodging, they ain't taking it. They like, that's the way to win now. That competitive spirit is not what it used to be in sports. And so we see a reflection of that in the game today, man. No, and this is what people need to understand. No lead in the NBA means anything.
Oh, no, you could be up by 25 in the third quarter and lose by 2 or 3, at the end of the game. No, I agree with you, Mike. I just think that, these players get paid so much money so early in their careers, and that and I don't want to say all of them, but it's a mindset thing to come out every night and just play like, forget about the money. I just want to play. I
Yeah,
want to hoop. And the
yeah,
only, to me, I'll say this, and I think a lot of people will hopefully agree. I think Kevin Durant probably is to me, the number one player who just comes out and just want to play basketball,
yeah, yeah,
regardless
yeah,
of
yeah,
how
yeah,
much he's getting
yeah.
paid or anything like that. I know
Yes,
we're getting off track
yes.
about the game, but
No, no, no. That's a great point,
KD
Ken.
KD will come out and just, hey, let's hit it. No matter, let's just, he's been on a couple, several teams, but he just wants to come out and just hoop and
Yes,
compete. So
yes. Yeah, no, Ken, that is a great point, man. His mindset is, what you're gonna get from KD every night. And he not gonna cheat the game. He not gonna shortchange you. He gonna come out and he gonna do what he need to do. And that's an old school mentality. And we don't have that, man. You remember back in the day when guys, they had a tough shooting night, man, but they tightened up their defense. They went to the boards more. They assisted more. They impact the game in ways that they didn't normally do because they were struggling in some aspect of their game that night. No, man, folks, they ain't hit no shots. They ain't no good. You might as well send them to the bench because they ain't
yeah,
gonna play no D for you. You know what I mean? They down on themselves. They don't understand that you can affect the game in multiple ways. That's why I like Dre Jackson. That's why I like that young boy. He come in, he may commit fouls, man, but he gonna give you 110% of his energy. And I love it, man. I just love people that play hard, Ken. I just man, and when we look at the progression, I think Dame is getting more and more comfortable in his role. I mean, last night it was against Washington, man, but this is what people need to understand about basketball. These are NBA players. And if
oh
you leave them open and they catch a
yeah,
rhythm,
it's
they
over.
man, these guys these are the Mr. Basketballs of the states that they come from. They're not
Right.
scrubs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Frank Kaminsky, if you let Frank Kaminsky,
Yes.
get loose, he'll eat you up. I mean, if you don't play D on him, he
Right.
gonna score on you. I mean, it's just they are NBA players, man. And Washington came out and they just, they had a lot of wide open threes.
A
And
lot.
we saw the same thing in Boston, man. And but then again, defense again is the last thing because it's about communication. It's about sometimes you switching, sometimes Brook is in the drop position, sometimes you trying to tunnel the guy to him for a block or a contest. I mean, it's going to take months for them to understand where to be, when to be, how to react, and that's just the Bucks are not there. And I
No.
think sometimes Ken, when when it when bad mistakes happen to them on the defensive end, some of them kind of just they started loafing. They start like, whatever, and Doc Grip calls a timeout, tries to get them re-engaged again because it is a mentality, man, that you have to play hard. That's why I like Jackson because he gonna come in and he gonna play hard, man. But I did think Ken bringing back Marshawn and giving him the time that he got against Boston was a mistake. Okay,
Why you say that?
because he had missed 2 games. He had no rhythm.
Oh,
And you know what I'm saying? I thought Pat should have played more. I thought Jack should have played more. I just thought, if you brought him in, give him a few minutes, but he had not played, man. And what we do know about the NBA, they don't practice. So really all he
right.
had was a couple shoot arounds, maybe a walkthrough. His win wasn't there. And you could tell that he just wasn't, when you take a few games off, man, it takes you, especially you take a game off and you're not playing, you're not shooting, you're not doing anything, you're just getting treatment. And so I think I think that was a mistake giving him the amount of time that they did. But you know what? I don't,
Good.
my cousin said something on Facebook, he basically threw the towel in on the Bucks and they defense and this that. I said, man, hold on, man. Understand what's going on here, right? This takes time and you're seeing it across the league. Have you heard any update, Ken, on Chris?
No, I haven't. I don't. He probably won't play tomorrow. They play
Yeah,
Portland, so I know he won't be playing them. So I think that they're trying to bring Chris back slowly,
yeah,
even before this. Let's just say slight injury. So,
yeah,
but
yeah,
on on the game of the week, I think Beauchamp played like 22 minutes.
yeah, yeah. Let me see
Yeah,
what Beauchamp played on here. He played 22 minutes, 5 points, 3 rebounds. I mean, when you look uh and again, I think the Bucks up until that fourth quarter. I mean, Dame even said we got to get better starts, and the Bucks have been
right.
struggling to
First
get out of the gate. They've been playing great fourth quarters. I mean, let's be honest. They've been playing great fourth quarters, man. I mean, it seemed like all of a sudden now their D turns up, their pressure turns up,
or
they
they done
start
woke
hitting
up.
shots. Exactly. And like Dave was saying, man, we have to play four quarters like that, man. But when you look at some of the offensive rebounds, the Bucks had 13, Celtics had 4. They out rebounded Celtics,
Oh,
56-47. Um, they had 4 less assists. They had 9, they had 6 more steals. They had less blocks because, you know, Boston shooting threes on you. They
yeah.
had less turnover. Um, and you look at those stats and you go, those are not bad stats. But when, like you say, when you give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Boston players in double figures,
Double figures.
okay, that's the Hauser shouldn't even have any points. Pitcher, he shouldn't even have any points.
Right.
Al did his little thing, 11
You
points,
open threes.
exactly. White, he had 13. Holiday, as you said, had 5. Porzingis had 21.
Mm.
I'm not. The thing about it, man, he's got to prove to me that he can play in the big game and he can get it done. He has not proved that to me. He went out, matter of fact, when they against Orlando, he went out with some, I don't know what it was, but he got injured in the Orlando game. Again, I'm not, I'm not hating on Porzingis, man, but this has been his pattern. Brown had
But I
26
think
and Tatum had 23.
but I think with Porzingis, I think for me it's more staying healthy than
Oh yeah,
anything.
yeah,
Um, if it's not the health, it's the inconsistency in the big games, like you said before. So but we'll see. I mean, it's early. I think once we get into, let's just say, mid-January, I'd say after the All-Star break, then
yeah.
we have a better assessment as far as what teams are going to do what as far as you know playoff picture and things like that.
And and one thing about, and this is what people need to understand too. One thing about a veteran team, these dudes don't panic, man. they don't they don't they don't panic, man. They get down and they realize one good thing about the Bucks is they've been able to win close games. And that experience being a new unit going forward is going to be tremendously beneficial to them because all the playoff games are going to be close. They're going to
Oh
go
yeah.
down to the wire, and being able to win and figure out how to play with one another under that high pressure situation, I think is a beautiful thing. Ken, did it change your impression any all of the power battle in the East?
No, not really. I mean, and I'll say this: Boston got a little bit of a home cooking, which every, every team does it. So, like I said, Bucks didn't energy was low. That especially the first half. They picked it up, made it competitive in the fourth quarter. They didn't give up, but they just got to shoot better and get more players involved. So Boston's, I mean, what I like about Boston, they'll get everybody involved as far as who's on the floor. And I know they go to Brown and Tatum a lot, but they pass the ball very well. You got to give it to them. So
Oh yeah. Oh, I
yeah,
mean, that's Boston basketball, and
right.
again, those guys have been playing together for quite some time now, and they know their games, and so that's a very important piece. I mean, think about it. if Chris had been healthy, it might have been different for the Bucks starting out because then you have that Giannis and Chris connection. But with Chris only playing 20 minutes, if the Bucks had went in there and matter of fact, I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect the Bucks to win. If
I
they
didn't
had
either.
won, I thought it might have been a close game. But I just don't. If the Bucks had won, you would have had to say to me, okay, you got a brand new coach. This is probably your biggest game of the year. The stats was I think before that game, Dame, Giannis, and Chris had played a total of 60 minutes together on the court.
Okay.
So when you look at that and the lack of chemistry in the Bucks and the fact that they even made it a game, I give them credit. If they had won, then I would have been questioning what's up with Boston because Boston is definitely um, a couple of steps ahead right now, and for good
Oh,
reason.
yeah.
And for good reason. I mean, if you can bring in a Drew Holiday as your fourth option,
Hmm.
man, you gotta be all. You know what I'm saying? That's like let's just say LA now. That's like putting Drew Holiday on the Los Angeles Lakers. Man, you gonna get better. You gonna be a
Oh,
better
yeah, definitely.
team because Drew then in that scenario he's probably the third option. And so I just think with the Bucks, with any team, where you bring it in, just like when Miami, when LeBron went there, LeBron had to become the first option. We know how that first year went. They started out 8-8 that year. We know how they failed in the playoffs. We understand that, but everybody was talking about Wade, Bosh, and LeBron gonna have
Right.
championships year one. It didn't happen. So fans, you need to understand. I think the Bucks are ahead of the game. I think their defense is gonna come. I think once their defense comes, Ken, man, once their defense comes, because
We'll see.
Dame is, man, think about, man, the games that Dame Lillard is having. I mean, this dude had what the last night he had they just had the first time in
31.
history. He had 31 and he had 10 assists. Man, come on. And then the game before that, he had 12 assists. Come on, man. That that dude is dishing, man. And he's getting points. So to me, Dame is finding his flow. What they need to do is tighten up on their defense. Giannis is still figuring out. Giannis did a better job last night, playing with Dave, playing around Dave. He had 31. And Brooke, man, talk about, I know
No.
we this is not our game of the week, man, but talk about Brooke Lopez last night
What do you
against
have?
the Washington Wizards.
37?
39.
39. Oh,
39.
okay.
His
All right.
career high.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great game. You would like to see that more often from him. I think sometimes Brooke, he gets lost in the shuffle. You got to feed him, feed him some opportunities, and
Yeah.
you just can't depend on Dame and Giannis, night after night. With Chris just coming, I wouldn't say just coming back, just coming back slowly. So you got to
Yeah.
get him involved. I just think that as I said before, the Bucks have to get other players involved so they can get their rhythm, so it can take some pressure off of Dame, Giannis, Chris. Those are their big three. So bench players and other players, they just need to get them involved more. And I'll say this: the other thing is that uh, Giannis needs to play less minutes. That's going. I
Mhm.
mean, especially down the stretch. So we'll see what
Yeah,
happens. I
because you can. Your point is valid, man. Against Boston, he played 36 minutes, 36, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. You know, um, 21 points. That's not enough. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Giannis never wants to come out. That's
I
the
know,
problem.
but yeah,
And yeah,
but
and
think
you're right.
about got to be smart about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to start. That exchange he had with Doc Griff.
Ah,
I didn't appreciate that. I know Giannis has got to check himself, and I think Giannis realized that because in the press conference when they asked him, he said, "I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that."
but the thing about it, the coach even said, he brought, he just said, stay on the table and I'll get you back in.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
think the press made too much out of it. It's just,
Hmm.
that's just what they do. So
Man,
we'll see what
listen.
happens. we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll be at tomorrow's game.
Oh,
So
okay, very nice,
yeah.
very nice. You have to send me some pics like you did
Okay.
last
All
time.
right.
Yeah, put me in the stadium. See, I ain't no baller like you. I
Oh man,
can't even.
stop.
Man, if I'd be way up. I wouldn't even know who. Dame and Giannis be the same height. I'd be so far up.
I can't do that, man.
But Ken, your point is valid, man. He should not be playing, 36 minutes a night. That's just too much for him. Dame played 38. I
Yes.
do like the fact of Dame playing the whole first quarter though. I do like that. I like that him being able to give his rhythm. It seems like when he does that, he's much better in the flow of the game. Man, I don't like that. I don't like that when you play 4-5 minutes and they snatch you out at the start of the game, man. I just
Yeah.
they
I
do that
don't
to
get that either.
Giannis a lot, man. And I just, bring him, let him play, 7-8 minutes, snatch him out then. But man, that 5 minute mark, I don't know how you get your rhythm and then you got to come back in and then you really like starting again. I think Dame playing that first quarter, you break that sweat, you get that feel, you maybe get a shot up here or there, and then you can rest a little bit, come back in right before halftime and do your damage. So, but no panic mode for Milwaukee.
Oh no. No.
You ain't
It's
jumping
early,
ship,
Mike. It's
huh?
early, Mike. This season it's gonna be a long season. And I always said this is that the team that stays healthy throughout the
Yeah,
season,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, has a better chance. And I mean, it goes without question. You see some players, taking a night off, and Giannis has taken a night off. Dame, that's just the NBA now.
yeah.
We don't like it as fans, but that's just how it is. I mean, load management is still here.
No doubt, it is. It is. So for those of you, and we love you because you listen to the show and you comment and you share it. So we love you. But those of you who have already thrown the towel in or you picked the towel up, let me just show you what's happening around the league. For instance, last night, okay, the New York Knicks came back from 21 down to beat the Miami Heat. Okay. Um, it's in. They grabbed Ken the possession of the Eastern Conference card spot for the in season tournament. So you see here 21 points. The Heat. See, man, we need to understand like NBA teams, if they get momentum, I don't care who they are. You can be the Charlotte Hornets, you can be the Washington Wizards, you can be who. Once you give an NBA team momentum and they start hitting shots and the three-pointer is available to them, they can beat you. They can beat you.
All right.
You have to get out here and beat another team. And then what happened to the Celtics? We talked about what
Ooh,
happened to the Celtics, 113 to 96. Again, they got beat by 17 in Orlando.
yeah.
I mean, you
They weren't even in the game.
come on, man. They
I
weren't
watched
even in
it.
the game. And then and this is what we talk about the inconsistency of players. How do you get all hype for the Bucks and then you come to Orlando and you get the brakes beat off of you? That's ridiculous. That just shows me right there. You put everything into the Bucks. You didn't bring anything to the table. And again, this is the Boston Celtics, right? Orlando's looking good. They didn't won 6 in a row. They
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
second place in the East.
You know something? They're playing well as a team. I'll put it that way. Didn't expect it from them. Uh, you, you would have to say you're the surprise in the Eastern Conference for
They are
I
the
thought
Sacramento Kings of the
right.
East.
I thought to me I thought the Knicks would you know let's just say be better than record wise than what they are right now. But Orlando playing very well.
Ken, what I tell you last year, I
Yeah,
was
I
on. I
noticed.
was on. I was telling you, Orlando is coming, man. I was watching them boys play a lot, man, and I was like, man, they got like 8, 9 dudes that can get it. I mean, the thing about Orlando is they have dudes that can get to. They leading the league in free throws. they get to the rim, man. They got some dudes that, with Suggs, and you got Anthony, of course, Paolo. I mean, you got Wagner brothers, man. These boys are going to the hole on you. And
Yeah, you're young.
they young, man. They young, man. And but again, this is what I'll say. When you're a young team like that, the you are made for the regular season. Right? You made for the regular season. You're not built for the playoffs. Because when the playoffs come around and they slow that ball down and they start pounding that thing inside, man, it's a whole nother
That's
level.
right. That's a whole
Yeah,
different season.
yeah, it's a whole different season, man. So why I celebrate them and their arrival, and they're playing well, and I'm very excited about what they're gonna do. Nah, they're not going deep in the East, bro. No, forget that. And then also, Ken, the other thing with Orlando is sooner or later they're gonna have to start paying them.
Oh yeah,
And then you
that's
know what happens when you start paying? You start losing.
right.
People gonna jump ship, bro, for more money, because you're
For
not
that
gonna be able
money.
to play. You got to pay Paolo. Who gonna be Max? You got to pay Paolo. You got the Wagner brothers over there. You got Suggs. I mean, you gonna have to dish out some money.
Oh,
And when that money start coming out, that's when you're gonna see Orlando really start to develop, and they're gonna lose some of the guys that they have right now because they can't pay them all.
but the other thing also, I'll say, winning brings about, you get veterans who may is like, it's warm in Orlando. Let me go over here, and
Exactly.
I can be, competitive as a team, and nice weather, get paid. So that's the other side of the coin too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ken, the last thing we're gonna talk about, the Denver Nuggets. See, this is
Oof,
what people don't understand. People say, how important is a player? Man, Jamar Murray is not there, and Denver is in trouble.
they
They
struggling.
got man. Listen, we won't even say they got the brakes beat off. They got smoked, Ken. 105-86, and the Joker had a monster game.
Yeah,
It wasn't like he had like a triple double, 30 something. And I mean, yeah, he had a monster game, but they got
smoked.
smoked. Man, what's up, Ken? What's up with Denver, man?
You
They
know,
got eliminated, man. They got eliminated from the NCs. They fell to 2-2.
okay, I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
I mean, you take out your second, let me say, second best player or second scorer, you are going to struggle. I mean, it's just obvious unless somebody steps up, and nobody has stepped up. So
Yeah.
you missing what? Let's just say 20 points per game, and then now you put more pressure on Joker. So yeah, they're gonna struggle, Mike. Um, he's gonna be gone for maybe another 5-6 games. Yeah, they said they first week in December is supposed to come back. Murray. Yeah, it's gonna be they'll weather the storm, and get back to it. So, but right now, it's not looking pretty. But
And the West is so tight, Ken, that if you get in that fifth and sixth position, it's gonna be hard to fight your way back up to that 1-2 position, because it's just so tight, man, with the teams that you have there. And I'm impressed by Houston, man. Houston I think Houston beat the brakes off of a couple of teams this
yeah,
year, man. And so it's going to be difficult for Denver to repeat. And this is what happens when people talk about repeating. Like you said, Ken, you said the magic thing, healthy. And this is what happens when you can't position yourself, because I truly believe Denver is one of those teams where they need home court advantage.
you
I
think
don't
so?
think oh yeah. They man, they never lose at home. They got that
Yeah,
advantage, bro. It's mile high. They got that advantage. You know what I'm saying? You come into that Mile House Stadium, man, where the oxygen is thinner, and them boys used to that. Nah, man, they got it. They always had Denver's always had an advantage in that situation. That's why teams try to go down, or even players try to practice during the off season in Denver because of the mile high, man, the thinner air. So yes, I think Denver is in serious trouble. They ain't got
Okay.
nobody who else going to see. And Ken, listen, this is when we talked about Bruce Brown,
Oh
right?
yeah,
We
the
talked
loss of
about
Bruce.
how
Right.
that was going to hurt. See, if they had Bruce Brown, Bruce might even start. But if he came
Oh,
off the bench, he going to give you what you need, and you don't have it, bro. You don't. They don't have a piece to replace that pick and roll. I mean, Reggie does a good job of it, but man, come on, man. Yoke
what a
and
well.
Murray are like, man,
I
they brothers from another mother.
but I think we missing something. Like we haven't mentioned Porter Jr.
For good reason.
Okay,
For
that's
good
my point.
reason.
Yeah, that's my
Exactly.
point. I mean, come on.
Kid, kid, Michael Porter Jr., man, I never thought he should have got that big payday that he did, man, because he's basically a spot up shooter. His defense is questionable. I just he's if he gets hot every now and then, he can hurt you. But for the most part, man, I don't put much stock in him being that difference maker for them. No.
What he
Mm-mm.
was 6'9", 6'10"?
Yeah, he's 6'10".
Come
Mm-hmm.
on, Mike. He's 6'10". You not gonna see him in the paint trying to post up nobody. Number that's my let's just say criticism for him. But just to be a spot up shooter and you
That's
6'10",
it. That's it.
nah.
That's his entire game. He's trying to get to that spot and pull up. That's his entire game, man. And so that's a problem because when you don't have a person like Jamar that's spacing the floor, that's driving and kicking, when they can concentrate on Yoke only, man, them all of a sudden now you're not pulling up. You pulling up with somebody with a hand in your face. And so to me, I think he's a non-factor, man. I think
Mm,
Jamar, and when I said, a year ago, Ken, I said Jamar Murray is an all-star, and he should be in the conversation as being one of the top point guards in the league because it's not just his scoring, man. It's his spacing. It's the tough shots that he hits. It's that pick and roll, man. I mean, Murray is a beast out there, bruh.
but
And
Mike, I don't
without
mean to
him,
go ahead. I'm
no, I
sorry
was
to
just gonna
interrupt.
say without him, man, Denver is not the same team.
But yeah, but the thing about that non-factor, you paying a whole lot of money for that non-factor as far as Porter Jr. is concerned. And
A
I
lot
just
of
think,
money.
I mean, right.
I
So
was shocked, Ken. I was shocked when they offered him that deal because I was like, so what's he really done? I mean, I understand he's a spot up 3-point shooter, but man, is he that difference maker? No, he's not that different.
not
I'll
to
tell you
me,
like
it's
this:
not.
I'd rather have Jay Crowder than him.
Okay. Because he's, I mean, on the defense, on the defense
Come
end,
on, come on,
yeah,
Ken. What you
he ain't
say?
making it.
Missing in action.
Yeah,
He on a milk carton.
right,
I mean, come
exactly.
on. No, so no, Denver, I just think Denver is in real trouble, man. And to go down like that, um, because your point guard is there. I mean, it just shows you how much health is a major factor for them. So the Bucks are they 3-0, like you say,
Right,
in the end season tournament, man. And you win them. Some are pretty, some are ugly.
right.
But there's no panic going on in Milwaukee, man. I think they're making their way, and we'll just see what happens. This is a long season,
Oh yeah, we just
long
starting.
season, man. And
So
but yeah, Ken, got some games tonight, and we'll just have to see, man. Have to see, but I'm
okay,
excited to see Giannis and Dame come together and seem to play even better game after game, and you know they gonna work it out. I believe I'm gonna have to get I believe I'm gonna get another ring.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. We'll see though. We'll
Yeah,
see.
Ken, hey, you gonna have to give me the okay to wear my ring on the show one day. I had to put it up to the camera, blind the camera with it. But folks, it's been a great show. The world of sports unites us. Let us take this unity in our everyday life. This is why they play the game.